Hello and happy Halloween. It's Andy from Email Love. Today we are going to celebrate Halloween by recreating one of our favorite Halloween emails from this year using the Email Love Figma plugin. So here's the email. It is from a brand called Athletic Brewing. It's a non-alcoholic beer brand and company. What I liked about this email was obviously the animation is super fun, very eye-catching animation in the hero section. It also uses best practices. So you have HTML text, you have bulletproof buttons, really nice photography. And then I really love the footer. I love these really simple but easy to click on buttons. This is an email that looks great on desktop as well as on mobile. You can see here everything stacks really nicely. I also love the color palette and it looks great in dark mode as well. So let's jump into Figma and I will show you how we can recreate this email using our Figma plugin. So I'm just going to jump over to Figma now. Okay. Let's go full screen so you can see it. Okay. Okay, so we're in Figma now, and this is the screenshot of the email. So we haven't built it with the plugin yet, but you will want to open up the plugin and create a new frame for it. Okay, so here's my frame and I'm going to build this email alongside the screenshot so I can follow along. This top section is obviously an image, it's an animated GIF, and you can upload animated GIFs into the plugin. That's not a problem. Okay, so we're going to begin by adding an image. And what we're going to do is on the left hand side, we're going to select the image itself. So it says MJ image. That indicates that we've selected the image. And then on the right hand side, we can upload the new image from our computer. Okay, and here it is here. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to increase the size of that image so it fills the space. And what I might actually do is I might change it from fit to fill. So just so it spans the width, the full width of that table. Okay, so we've uploaded our image. If we preview that, we will see the animation. So in the plugin preview, you can see that working. Figma itself does not display animated GIFs for some reason. And so you won't see it on the design board, but you will see it in the preview. Okay, next we have some HTML text and a bulletproof button. And so what we will need to do is find a component that looks like that. I have one right here. So in this case, it actually has a heading, which we don't need. What you can do is you can select the text frame that contains that heading on the left-hand side, and you can simply delete it and it will remove that for you. I also want to adjust the padding of the text. I don't know if you can see, but let's zoom in a little bit. You can see here, there's 18 pixels of padding just above this text frame. And so I'm going to remove that, and then I'm going to copy and paste the text from the email into this frame. We're going to use Figma's tools to align it and get the text looking just like in the example. So let's increase, it's a little bit too big. Let's make it 22 pixels. The line height actually looks like it's a little bit bigger. So what we can do, we can increase that to 32. And then obviously the frame itself has a white background at the moment. What we can do is we can just grab that background color, and then we can update the color of the text. Okay, let's zoom out. That looks pretty good. I think there's still a little bit too much padding between this headline and the text, and so the padding within this this wrapper is always done on the column. So if you select MJ column on the left hand side, you can then use the auto layout padding, sorry, the auto layout panel on the right hand side to you can adjust the padding on a granular level. So I can get it just right. So I've reduced the top padding to 35, the bottom padding is still 42. I might actually increase the padding on the sides to 70. Okay. And then obviously this button isn't looking quite right. So again, selecting the frame and then using auto layout to change the alignment. I can also update the padding around this frame or around this button if I want to, using auto layout. Now what we need to do is make the button look just like this one. Right now obviously it's got rounded corners, that's controlled by the corner radius. Athletic has no corner radius on their buttons, and then they also have more padding, so I'm going to increase the padding above and below. Oops. Yeah, let's select this and increase this to 20. Oh, oops, let's not do that. Sorry, I did that the wrong way around. What I did there was I added padding. What I want to do is actually just increase the height. There we go, that looks better. And then I'm going to select a new color and update the text. It says Shop Halloween Brews, so let's update that. Shop. And obviously the width of the button isn't quite right. I also think the text is probably bold. Okay. Now I actually think it should actually be bigger. So I'm going to increase this to 65 in terms of height. It's quite a big button, but we do like big buttons, so that's okay. Okay, there we go. That's looking pretty good. There actually is a bit more spacing beneath the button. So I'm going to select the button frame. Actually, I'm going to select the frame for the entire the column within the wrapper, and then I'm going to use the auto layout padding to increase that. There we go. Okay, we've created the first section. And then let's preview that to see how that's looking. Excellent. Let's view it on a mobile just to make sure everything looks good. That looks really good. Okay. Moving down, we have some white space here. And so what I'm going to do is actually just create a white kind of image to add into that section. And so what I can do is add another image, and then I can create kind of a spacer just by creating a white image that I will export and then import into this image. Let's see let's make the height 25 pixels. I'm going to export that to my desktop, and then I'm going to import that into this image. And then I'm going to resize it, so it should be 25 pixels in height. Okay, so now we have that white image spacer, and then beneath it we have this image, this beautiful transparent PNG. Again, selecting the actual image on the left-hand side and then updating it on the right. Okay, I'm actually going to change this to fill so it fills that space completely. And that looks really good. However, you may notice that it has a blue background on the left-hand side. We have white. What we need to do is select the wrapper that contains that image, and then we need to update the background color. And so you do that by selecting the wrapper and then updating this color where it says fill. I'm just going to grab the color from the example on the right-hand side. There we go. And then this is HTML text and a button. So I'm going to add this. I'm going to make the padding the same again. To adjust the padding around this content, I'm going to select the column. I'm going to increase this to 70 so it's the same as the section above. And I'm going to add some more padding below the button. Make sure our buttons match up. What was the height? Okay, so this button is 65 pixels in height. Let's make them both the same. There we go. By the way, if we want to add a link to this button, you would simply select the button frame and then click on Properties. That enables you to add a URL for that button. Okay, so let's check this out in the preview, see how it's looking. All right, looks great on desktop. Let's view it on mobile. Looking good on mobile. What about dark mode? Looks really nice in dark mode. Okay, so we are now coming to the footer. We need to recreate these buttons. And so what I actually have is a new design system that is going to come out soon. The design system contains pretty much everything you would need, most different layouts and design patterns for most use cases, and I'm going to grab these buttons because they look pretty similar to what Athletic Brewing is using. So let's bring this up here so we can see it. Oops. Okay, so what we can do is we can copy the wrapper that contains these buttons, and we can simply just insert them into the design, and then obviously update the look and feel of the button. That looks pretty good. One thing you need to just make note of is I increased the size or the height of the button to 65. You need to do that on the button itself as well as on the button frame that contains the button. There we go. Now it looks good. Okay, let's just check that those look good in the preview. Let's check it on mobile. Okay, so I don't like the padding between these buttons. It's too much padding. In the actual example of the email, it didn't have that much padding, and so what I can do is I can select the column that contains this button, and then I can click on mobile styles, and I can see it's applying 35 pixels of padding. And so what I can do is check this box and I can reduce that. So let's reduce that to let's say 10 and see how that looks. So on mobile, it's going to reduce the padding above that button to 10. Let's see if that looks better. That does look better. Okay, so now I am going to, by the way, you can select any wrapper on the left hand side, and then you can just copy and paste it. Okay, so obviously the thing that stands out here is the padding between these buttons, or above these buttons, is now way too much. And so what I'm going to do is select the column. As I've mentioned, the column is what controls the padding around the buttons and the text and the images. And I can reduce that padding to 0. Let's see, how does that look? I think they even use a bit less padding. So let's decrease this a little bit as well. Okay, that looks better. Obviously these buttons look a bit different. So we can select the button. We're going to make the background white. And we're going to click on the stroke button here. That's going to add a border. I think they have like this navy blue border. We'll do the same on this button. And then before we copy and paste this, let's select the column and we will reduce the padding to 25. And then we will copy it once more. Okay, almost there. Okay, let's preview this, see how that is looking. Looks very nice. Let's preview that. Looks really good. I'm happy with that. Okay, so now we want to create some social icons. Again, I'm going to jump back over to my design system and I'm going to grab one of these footers that I think this one looks pretty similar, and we can customize this to look just like what Athletic has. Again, any content contained in a wrapper, you can lay this out on your design board, you can use it as a design system, and then you can easily plug it into your template like that. Obviously there's no links like this, so what I'm going to do is select the section on the left hand side and then just simply delete it. These social icons look different, so let's see, they begin with Twitter, Facebook, Insta. So let's update these. And obviously the background's actually white. There's actually a background color on the column of these icons, so we can just remove that. So just select the column and then just click on the minus icon or the remove icon. There we go. Okay, oh, there is actually, so if we still, you can see here, see how there's a black line between the buttons and the social media icons. That means this footer component actually has a line or like a divider. So you can see here MJ line. Again, I don't want that in this design. I can just select the section, hit delete, remove that. I might also just adjust the padding on this. So let's just reduce this to say 10. The other thing that you might want to change, I think these icons are a little bit closer together. So I'm just going to change the width of the columns that contain these images. Okay, there we go. Now we just need our footer copy. Let's copy this in here. I'm going to remove their unsubscribe and leave our one. So our unsubscribe, what we do when you use the unsubscribe that's in an existing footer is if you export to Klaviyo or MailChimp or one of the other ESPs that we integrate with, we will automatically merge in the unsubscribe link for that ESP for you. So I'm going to remove their unsubscribe and leave our one. I also love having a big easy to see unsubscribe link that stands out in the footer. I think that is the way to do it. So let's leave it like that. And then we obviously need to update the color of our text. There we go. And then they actually have a big logo at the bottom, which is kind of cool. Oh, did I not delete the... Okay, there we go. Let's actually adjust the padding here. So okay, and then to finish up, all we need to do, I'm going to add one more image, and then I'm going to update this image with the athletic logo. All right. Again, selecting the column, I'm going to add some padding below the logo. Boom. We've just made a really beautiful athletic email with the plugin. Let's preview it, see it, make sure it's looking good. This is all HTML text. It's going to be more accessible than having everything in an image. There we go. Let's check it on mobile. Looking pretty good. By the way, if you do want to change the size of this text or the padding or line height on a mobile device, you can select a frame, like a text frame or a button frame or an image frame, and then just click on mobile styles, and you can apply mobile specific styling to that element. So for text, it could be changing the font size, the line height, adding or removing padding around an element. Just select what you want to change and then click on mobile styles to do that. Okay, so this looks really good. I'm going to now click on export. I can send myself a test from here, or I can just download the file. So I'm just going to click on download, and that's going to let me save my athletic brewing template. Okay, let's open that up. And here it is. Here's the actual email. This is HTML text. It's responsive. Looks good on dark mode. Looks very similar to the actual athletic email. And we did that in about less than 30 minutes. So very simple, very quick and easy to rebuild accessible, responsive emails with the Email Love Figma plugin. If you want to play around with this template, we have uploaded it to the Email Love Figma community page, so you can access it in here, along with our plugin and many other templates that you can play around with. That's all I have for today. If you have any questions, if you want to chat about the plugin, let me know. I'll be running these demos on a regular basis. So have a great